Hi everyone, happy Friday. As I said last week, today on Let's Talk MS, I'm specifically going to focus on all the symptoms those living with MS have to deal with on a regular basis. I've connected with a lot of people online discussing MS, and what I've seen is that the symptoms are one of the hardest parts of living with the disease. That's really what can affect your everyday life. So I thought it was really important to talk about those symptoms and just share some information with all of you regarding that. So, the first symptom I want to talk about is actually your vision issues. So, as I said last week, MS can affect the optic nerve. And when it does that, that can actually cause you to have blurred vision, a double vision, or lose sight in one eye. So, you can only imagine that's a symptom that would be really hard for someone to deal with, especially if they've never had vision issues before. Normally, if you've lost sight in one eye, once you have your initial treatment for your attack, that'll come back. But depending on how severe enough the damage was done, you could have blurred vision for quite a long time before it starts to get better, if it gets better. So, two more symptoms I want to talk about that I experience all the time were numbness and tingling. So, the numbness is pretty self explanatory. When part of the nerve is damaged, it's sending wrong signals or no signal at all to a specific part of your body, and that's what's causing that part to be numb. The tingling, I can almost describe it as when your foot falls asleep and you get pins and needles coming into your foot when it comes back, the feeling. So that's exactly what it feels like. But for me, it almost feels like a burning sensation always, and it's under the skin. So when I have something really cold touch the right side of my body, I get this really sharp, tingling, burning sensation. Not a symptom that would affect you in your everyday life, but it is something you deal with every day and you just get used to. So, two more issues that we see with MS are pain and spasms. So, with the pain, that can be anything from muscle pain to nerve pain. It really just depends on the damage that's been done to your body. So, for example, I get really bad nerve pain in my legs, especially if I've been walking around a lot in the day. It's really hard to explain. It's not really like a muscle pain as if you've overworked your muscles. It's a totally different type of pain that is really hard to describe. It just feels like your legs are so tense and in a lot of stress almost. And that's what can lead to having muscle spasms. So when your muscles are spasming, they're really uncontrollably almost shaking. And it's not something you can really stop. You really just have to take the time to learn to relax and go slow so you don't overwork your body, so you don't see these symptoms come up all the time. So, some more symptoms that a lot of people with MS struggle with are fatigue, which is really your body is really tired, your muscles are really tired. So, again, you really want to be careful with how much activity you do so you can avoid that. A lot of people with MS actually have bladder and bowel issues, so they do have a hard time controlling their bladder, controlling their bowels, and they do find they either have a really hard time going to the washroom or they have a really hard time holding it. So again, that's something that in your life that you deal with, you just have to be aware of and make sure you make the lifestyle changes so that you're never put into a situation where you could lose control of your bladder in public or in a place you wouldn't want to be. So you can only imagine that's a symptom that's really hard for people living with it. But it's again something that you deal with, and you just make sure that you're always prepared. So, some other symptoms are actually more cognitive symptoms they say that people can get with MS. And so, with those symptoms, some people find that their brain just is not working the same. Sometimes they'll be talking, stutter their words, they can't think of the right sentence, they don't remember things as easily. And that's just really because they believe MS has an effect on the brain. So it just really causes you not to think as well as you would have before without living with MS. MS can also really affect your emotions, and that's actually something I'm going to talk about in another video because I would like to share with everybody the emotions that I've gone through since being diagnosed. It's definitely a roller coaster to go through. So I hope everybody learned a little bit about the symptoms that we go through on a regular basis living with MS. The purpose of the video today was just to talk a little bit about each symptom and share that with all of you. Next week, I'm going to focus on treatments. There are quite a few treatments out there for those living with multiple sclerosis right now. I've been on one for over a year, so I will definitely talk about that. Thank you so much to all of you who watched the video today. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.